Good morning. Welcome to the Bell and Pollock Legal Show. We are here today to talk to you about hit-and-run accidents. I'm Brad Pollock. In studio today with me is Kevin Carlock. We are the law firm of Bell and Pollock, otherwise known as Champions of the People. We are personal injury lawyers. Today and every Sunday morning, we talk to you about legal issues concerning personal injury of some type, issues that could be important to you if you're involved in an accident, if you're hurt, how you recover for your injuries that you have, how you determine the injuries, who's responsible for those injuries. We have a show on Saturday mornings where we talk to you about any topic you'd like. It's a call-in show. You can give us a call and discuss with us anything that's going on in your legal life. We like to make sure that we're available for you whenever we can to help you with any problems you have in your legal life. You can also call us at our offices, Brad Pollock, Gary Bell, Kevin Carlock. We have 7 attorneys, so we're happy to discuss topics and issues with you and also represent you in your personal case or your personal injury case. That's at 303-795-5900. We have an interactive website. It's called bellpollock.com or at championsofthepeople.com. If you have a question, you can get on our website. You can talk to us at the website and discuss with us there issues that you'd like to go over and the things that are going on in your life. If you need to discuss different problems and get general advice, most of the specific issues that are not injury related, not personal injury related, we're going to be referring you to other lawyers, trusted people that we know will take care of your cases for you, and lawyers that you can find that you can trust in and will give you good representation. In this world, it's hard to find good representation, so we want to make sure you have that available. And then we'll take care of your personal injury cases. We give you a legal game plan. We help you understand what your case is worth, how your case develops. People telling you that they can tell you what your case is worth without having a great deal of information or simply leading you down the yellow brick road. It's not true. They can't do it. We've litigated cases for many years. Our firm's been together since 1984. The lawyers in our firm are all very specialized and very well knowledgeable in this area of personal injury. They've tried cases. They've won cases. They've generally and regularly, we have a number of cases every year that are tried within the firm. But sometimes that's not the best way to go. Other times it is. You need somebody who can talk to you about what's going on and what's the best avenue for your case, and you need lawyers to represent you. Today we're going to talk about hit and runs. Kevin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Brad. Thanks for having me.
Good. Hit and runs, Kevin. We have a new law that's come out, or we have a new law that's about to come out. Tell us about it.
Well, we've got a couple new laws, and these are in response to what's been really a unfortunate rash of hit-and-run incidents throughout the state. So the legislature is trying to address this. On June the 5th, the governor signed Senate Bill 14213. And what that does is that essentially doubles both the criminal and civil statute of limitations for hit-and-runs that involve vehicular homicide. Okay? So what's a statute of limitations? A statute of limitations sets the time in which legal action must be taken. Okay, and there's a statute of limitations for criminal acts, meaning that the state has to bring an action within a prescribed period of time. And there's a statute of limitations for civil acts, meaning that if you're an injured party, you're a plaintiff, you only have a certain amount of time to bring your claims against the negligent party. So what the legislature has done has given both the state and the relatives of victims of hit and runs more time to bring legal action. So what we've done is we've doubled the criminal statute of limitations for hit and run from 5 years to 10 years. That's going to give the police and our DAs a lot more time to conduct investigations and bring actions against drivers that kill people and leave the scene. And we've done the same thing for the civil statute of limitations for wrongful death involving hit and run vehicular homicides. We've doubled that from 2 years to 4 years. So if you're a relative of someone that's been injured in a hit and run or killed in a hit and run crash, then you're going to have 4 years to bring that wrongful death action. Now,
we've talked before about wrongful death actions and who has the right to bring them and when they have the right to bring them. you can tell our legislature is very concerned about the hit and runs, because the longest statute of limitations we normally have from a car accident case is 3 years.
Right.
And so now they're going to 4 years for a hit and run. So you stop, think about it. They're giving you an extra year to bring your case, to find the person, to make your claim. The interesting part about that is that the wrongful death statute, as Kevin was saying, is usually 2 years. So where they're doubling that time period, they're increasing by a year what you get for an injury, or the time you have to address an injury that has occurred. So you've got to think that we've got a real epidemic, or we've got a real concern about people not stopping and rendering aid. When we start talking about it, though, Kevin, we got to talk about why it's so important. And in our experience in our firm, we do know it's important that people get medical care at the scene if it's available, and if it's needed, and that the ambulances are called and the accidents is properly investigated. The importance, Kevin, what have you noticed when you've done your cases?
Well, one of the first things the insurance company is always looking for is what happened there at the scene of the accident. Did the person complain about injuries to the responding police officer, if a police officer came? Did the person request an ambulance? And one of the other things that the insurance company is looking for is how soon after the collision did a person first seek medical care? Did they go to the hospital that day? Did they wait a day or two, a week? Those are some of the primary things that the insurance company is looking for. And if you're missing some of those factors, then you're going to have an issue with the insurance company trying to blame your injuries on something else, or say you weren't hurt in the accident. If
we normally start with a hit and run that we think about, and this is where you hit and you make contact in a vehicle make contact with a person, a pedestrian. Insurance coverages, we've talked about that. Please look at our website. We've talked about what insurance coverages are available, and there are many insurance coverages available for pedestrian injuries. Don't fool yourself and think it's just, well, we can't find the car that hit us, so nobody can cover us, and we're on our own and we can't get our bills paid. That's wrong. Your own insurance. If it's minor, the parent's insurance that might very well be available to take care of that injury for the pedestrian. I know it sounds odd, but that's the truth. So you need to talk to an attorney. You need to be engaged with an attorney who knows what they're talking about. But we're talking about injuries that can occur in that kind of thing on a pedestrian, because this is where a lot of your hit and runs occur. And so the first thing we talk about is lacerations, abrasions, road rash, those type things, contusions, the injuries that happen out on the road when you're just being struck. Well, a lot of times those injuries can be minimized if the person stops and if the person gets emergency medical care. But the failure to get the emergency medical care can be a real problem, because now all of a sudden the person's injuries are worsened. For instance, an injury that's caused a laceration or a compound fracture where you have bleeding may need immediate attention. A person could be bleeding. They may be in the need of immediate care. If you don't stop, or if the driver hasn't stopped and gotten medical care, you've got a problem.
Yeah.
So those are things and issues you have to think about, and you have to be able to address. Same thing with head injuries. Think about a head injury. We'll be doing a show probably in a couple of weeks about concussions again as our children start playing sports. But a head injury in an accident, in a hit and run, somebody gets hit, they go down, they've suffered a head injury. That head injury may be in need of immediate care. You may not, or the person who caused the accident may not know how to take care of that injury, but they can certainly try and give comfort to the person. Remember, sometimes in a hit and run, the person who's been hit has been left out on the road. We've got other traffic. Somebody could get hurt while you're going out on the other traffic, or while other traffic is coming by. Somebody's got to stop that traffic. Somebody's got to protect the injured person. Now, Kevin, we're going to talk when we get back past the break. We have to take a break here in a few minutes. We're going to talk about what you need to do to address those kind of injuries, as far as if they haven't been addressed and the hit and run person could have helped the injured person but didn't, and now your client's injury is greater. your victim's injury has been increased because immediate care and aid wasn't given. You're listening to the Bell and Pollock Legal Show. This is the only show of its kind. Rarely and ever, if ever, will you find shows anywhere in this country where you have lawyers who just sit down and talk about legal topics, and where you find lawyers on, we'll do call-in shows, and we'll put their shows on their website. We do it for you. We want to make sure that you understand your legal rights. We're also, Bell and Pollock has decided, with school starting back up, that we're going to give out some gift cards. And we want you to be able to get on our website and nominate people for gift cards. We're going to talk about that when we come back, about the gift cards we're going to be giving out, and how you can nominate somebody, and how we can help some people with their school supplies and help kids get school supplies. So you're listening to the Bell and Pollock Legal Show. If you have questions, call us 303-795-5900, or look us up, bellpollock.com or championsofthepeople.com. We'll be right back.
Ready for an extraordinary lunch? As fast or as slow as you want it? With all fresh ingredients? Caitlin's Restaurant has it all. Express lunches that won't keep you waiting. Or, if you prefer, lunch served in that old-fashioned homemade style. All made fresh on the spot. Whether it's a fresh-made sandwich with homemade chips, quesadilla loaded with cheddar or jack cheeses, or scratch-made soups, you'll find everything you love at Caitlin's. Caitlin's is located on Mississippi, just east of Colorado Boulevard, next to Bookies. How about green chili chicken stew? Think about a variety of fresh-made sandwiches or 11 different kinds of burgers made to order with 1/2 pound of the finest USDA choice lean ground beef. You might favor a homemade New Mexican recipe with carne adobada burritos, chicken enchiladas, carnitas burritos, served with hash browns, special recipe beans, cheeses with guacamole, and your choice of homemade red or green chili sauces. For those who prefer the lighter side, there are fresh made salads and lighter fares, sure to delight. Try Caitlin's for lunch or breakfast on Mississippi, just east of Colorado Boulevard, next to Bookies. Call 303-798-6600. You'll love it every bite of the way.
Injured and confused? Confused about your injuries? Confused about the insurance company? Confused about which attorney to hire? So let's talk about attorneys. Let's get real clear on attorneys. I'm Gary Bell of the law firm of Bell and Pollock. You get to choose your attorney. So how do you choose? Experience? Yes. Handles only injury cases? Yes. Someone the insurance company knows? Yes. And respects? Of course. Attorneys who have been very successful representing their clients? Yes. Attorneys who don't deal in a hodgepodge of everything? Only injury cases? Mandatory. Attorneys who know all the tricks of the insurance company? Absolutely. Welcome to the law firm of Bell and Pollock. We do injury cases. We're known as the champions of the people. For a reason. We champion people's causes. And legal cases. Our website is championsofthepeople.com. For a reason. The reason is you. Come to championsofthepeople.com and see what that choice can do for you. Life has choices. Make your choice count. Championsofthepeople.com. There really isn't any other choice.
Welcome back to the Bell and Pollock Legal Show, the only show of its kind. Brad Pollock, Kevin Carlock in studio today, talking to you about hit and runs. We've talked about the fact the statute has in essence been doubled for bringing an action against a hit and run driver. We are personal injury lawyers. We talk about what the victim can do, what the victim's rights are, what the victim should be looking into as far as protection, how you should come to us and let us help you pursue your case. You need a legal game plan. Hit and runs have their own special group of concerns that you have to deal with. The fact that the time period has been doubled long past what a normal accident is, just to be able to address hit and runs, shows the emphasis that our legislature and our laws and those who pass the laws want to put on the fact that we want people stopping. The criminal penalties are severe. They've been made much more severe. A lot of times the driver who's caused the accident is in a dilemma because the driver who's caused the accident in this dilemma, who's caused the accident, has in fact been drinking, is on drugs, and is trying to hide a different problem. And now we're going to be facing other issues with respect to that driver. Before we go much further, I want to let you know that the law firm of Bell and Pollock has acquired some gift cards. We're going to be giving out 10 gift cards, 10 $50 gift cards to people who need them for school supplies to get back to school. We would like you to contact us on our website. The website is gift@bellpollock.com. If you have anyone you know of that can use an extra $50 or an extra $100 if they got a couple of kids, gift at BellPollock.com. We're going to just give away the gift cards, no strings attached. We just want people to have them who need them. So if you know somebody who needs or could use some extra money, or if you're out there and you could use some extra money for school supplies, you're looking around trying to figure out how to buy them, a school comes up, we have these gift cards. We would like to give them to you. It's going to be a matter of us getting on the website and looking at what you say is the reason the person needs them, who needs them, how much they need, what their status is, why they need them, what kind of problems they've gone through. Obviously, we won't publish their names. We won't embarrass anybody, but we'd like to give out the gift cards to people who need them. So if you know someone who has a need for a $50 gift card to buy school supplies, or a couple of them, give us, just get on your website at gift@bellpollock.com, or call at Bell and Pollock 303-795-5900 and tell us someone you want to nominate, or if you need them yourselves, and just let us know, and we'll obviously leave us contact information so we can get back to you, and we will then, if you're selected, call you up and give you one or more cards according to what your needs are. That's at gift@bellpollock.com. Please do it this week, because we're going to give away the gift cards this week. We're talking about injuries incurred as a result of a hit and run, and the responsibility of hit and run drivers. If you're a victim, or if you know someone who's a victim of a hit and run accident, there's questions that have to be addressed. Quite often, Kevin, the problem comes up because we're dealing with people who have been drinking or have some other reason why they want to run. And,
right.
And they want to run because they know they think they'd be in more trouble if they stayed and they got the DUI, or they got the driving under revocation or under suspension.
Yep.
And these are things we have to deal with. So when you're bringing your lawsuit, first of all, Kevin, can you just automatically file a punitive claim, or do you have to do more?
No. What punitive damages are for is something beyond mere negligence. You're talking about what we call willful and wanton conduct. Goes beyond mere negligence. Okay. And usually in those hit and run cases, you're going to have that, whether it's someone who has been, who is under the influence or driving recklessly. You're going to have the facts that support that willful and wanton claim. And what you have to do is leave a punitive damages claim out of your suit at the beginning. You're still going to be making a claim for your economic losses, your medical bills. You're still going to be making a claim for your non-economic losses, like your pain and suffering. But those punitive damages are there to punish the defendant, not to compensate the injured party. They are there to punish. And what you have to do is wait, exchange initial disclosures with the opposing party, conduct some discovery, and then you have to move to amend your complaint and ask the trial court judge to let you make this claim. So that's essentially the process, and the trial court is going to make a decision, okay, has the plaintiff presented enough evidence to justify making a punitive damages claim in this case? And normally, in the normal circumstances of a hit and run, where you've got something like driving under the influence, that's the classic kind of case where the judge is going to say, yes, I'm going to allow you to make this kind of claim.
Now, you have the defense and the insurance companies are going to say, we don't care if there was a hit and run. We're only concerned about the accident. We don't care if the person ran, because although they ran, that didn't make the injuries worse. That didn't cause any more problems. And that's where a good plaintiff's lawyer has to look at the case and start analyzing the case. Were the person's injuries made worse as a result of laying there on the street? Was there a psychological or emotional component that is there when you've been hit, you're laying on the street, the person who hits you takes off? Is there a psychological or emotional component to it? You deal with that kind of stuff. You worry about things such as, was the person worried about being exposed to additional injury or additional danger when they're laying there on the street, as far as other pedestrians taking advantage of them, other cars hitting them? If you have people who come to their aid right away, is there still that feeling of being upset, of being violated by someone who doesn't care enough to even stop?
Right, and that's going to depend on the facts of the case. If you have someone that's involved in a hit and run, maybe in a crowded urban area, then, maybe that's not going to necessarily affect the timeliness of medical treatment to that injured party. But if you have someone that's hit in maybe a rural area and is left on the pavement for hours, that can have a real significant effect on that person's injuries. And that can, that person's failure to stop and render aid and call for an ambulance is going to be something that affects both the medical damage to that person and is going to make a case for the punitive damages.
It's one of the first things the lawyer has to find out is, did the delay in treatment, did the time they were laying on the pavement, or did the time they were hurt inside the car when the car was smashed from behind or smashed from the side and the person took off, did it cause additional pain? Did it cause additional injury? Is it a problem? You also have to look and think, okay, now it's just about a no-brainer to say you can look at punitive damages when somebody has been driving their car under the influence and has caused an accident.
Right.
I mean, most judges are going to grant that claim and that request when it comes time. So the person may be able to avoid that. And may be able to argue there shouldn't be punitive damages if it's hit and run. So one of the jobs you as the lawyer has, or your lawyer has to do when helping you, the injured victim, is to take a look at the case and determine, why did this person run? What was the reason for them running?
Right. And sometimes you're looking at someone, maybe the police catch this guy, 2 days after the accident, and it's too late to, do a breathalyzer test, too late to do roadside tests. You're going to need a lawyer that's going to go get discovery. What was this guy doing that night? Try to look for his, cell phone records. You're looking for his bank records to see whether he was spending money at bars. Things like that are going to be essential to determining, okay, why did this person run? And you're going to need a good aggressive lawyer that's out there getting that information.
Get him into a deposition. Find out what was happening. Find out why he was doing the things he was doing and what caused him to flee, to take off. Or was he hurt in the accident? Was it a 2-car accident where he was hurt? And maybe he has a reason for running, but you still need to take a look at it. The lawyer must address it and be ready for the defense arguments that, hey, it didn't cause any more injury. It's not really punitive. It shouldn't be a problem. That's really something that should be excluded from the courtroom. And they'll try and exclude that entire bit of evidence.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody out there want a $50 gift card to help their kids get school supplies? Any of you need it? Do you know anyone who needs it? Well, Bell & Pollock's got some gift cards and we want to give them out. And you need to call us or contact us on the internet at gift@bellpollock.com. gift@bellpollock.com. That's BELLPOLLOCK.com. Or call us 303-795-5900. Nominate somebody. Tell us who you think ought to be getting the gift, who we can help with a $50 gift card. We've got some gift cards. We want to give them out. We've got 10. We're going to give them out to people to help some kids through their school, get school supplies. So please let us know who we can give them to or who you think needs them. That's a service we'd like to give to the community. If you listen to our other radio show, we're going to do that at KHOW Saturday morning. That starts at 7 o'clock. We're going to give out 10 more through that radio show too. So we're going to be giving out some gift cards to people so they can have some help getting the school supplies. You're listening to the Bell & Pollock Legal Show. We're going to take a short break and come back to wind this thing up. We've appreciated you listening, and we'll be right back.
Ready for an extraordinary lunch? As fast or as slow as you want it? With all fresh ingredients? Caitlin's restaurant has it all. Express lunches that won't keep you waiting. Or if you prefer, lunch served in that old-fashioned homemade style. All made fresh on the spot. Whether it's a fresh-made sandwich with homemade chips, quesadilla loaded with cheddar or jack cheeses, or scratch-made soups, you'll find everything you love at Caitlin's. Caitlin's is located on Mississippi just east of Colorado Boulevard next to Bookies. How about green chili chicken stew? Think about a variety of fresh-made sandwiches or 11 different kinds of burgers made to order with 1/2 pound of the finest USDA choice lean ground beef. You might favor a homemade New Mexican recipe with carne adobada burritos, chicken enchiladas, carnitas burritos, served with hash browns, special recipe beans, cheeses with guacamole, and your choice of homemade red or green chili sauces. For those who prefer the lighter side, there are fresh made salads and lighter fares. Sure to delight. Try Caitlin's for lunch or breakfast on Mississippi just east of Colorado Boulevard next to Bookies. Call 303-798-6600. You'll love it every bite of the way.
Injured and confused? Confused about your injuries? Confused about the insurance company? Confused about which attorney to hire? So let's talk about attorneys. Let's get real clear on attorneys. I'm Gary Bell of the law firm of Bell & Pollock. You get to choose your attorney. So how do you choose? Experience? Yes. Handles only injury cases? Yes. Someone the insurance company knows? Yes. And respects? Of course. Attorneys who have been very successful representing their clients? Yes. Attorneys who don't deal in a hodgepodge of everything? Only injury cases? Mandatory. Attorneys who know all the tricks of the insurance company? Absolutely. Welcome to the law firm of Bell & Pollock. We do injury cases. We're known as the champions of the people. For a reason. We champion people's causes. And legal cases. Our website is championsofthepeople.com. For a reason. The reason is you. Come to championsofthepeople.com and see what that choice can do for you. Life has choices. Make your choice count. Championsofthepeople.com. There really isn't any other choice.
Welcome back to the Bell & Pollock Legal Show. We're talking to you about hit and runs. We've got about a minute and a half to talk to you. Last thing we want to leave you with is how you can help with hit and runs. Hit and runs are serious. We need to make sure that the person who hit somebody stops. And we're not going to automatically just say they're bad persons. We got to find out why they didn't stop and what's going on. But what's coming in, Kevin, to help us find the person?
Starting in 2015, we've got a statewide alert system. It's going to be like Amber Alerts. That's going to send out an alert if there's been a serious hit and run crash. They're going to give you a vehicle description. So be on the lookout for those coming next year statewide. We've already got a system in Denver and Aurora in place.
If you see a hit and run, get a hold of the authorities immediately. Stop and give some people the aid. Help the person who's hurt. You've been listening to the Bell & Pollock Legal Show, the only show of its kind. 303-795-5900, bellpollock.com, championsofthepeople.com, and for a free gift card to help with school supplies, gift at bellpollock.com. We'll be back next Sunday. Please listen to us. We appreciate your listenership. It's important for us to be able to get the message out and let people know what they can do to protect their legal rights. We'll see you next week.